Hello everybody, this is PJ Web Dev, and in this video I wanted to tell you how to become a JavaScript programmer, but really how to become a programmer in general. Whether this is software developer or web developer, it doesn't really matter. There are principles that applies to all of the programming jobs in general, and this video I want to briefly talk to you about with emphasis of JavaScript. So what does it mean programming or to becoming a programmer? That means really solving problems with code. We have computers, and computers understand the language of code, and computers can do pretty much anything. So let's say we want to build a website, or let's say we want to build an online store, that we want to sell products, that we want to build a search engine. All we need to do is a computer and some code that we will write with the set of instructions. So this way we will solve this particular problem. We want to have something, an online store, a search engine, we write some code, and we have it. The beauty of programming languages and code is that it is very flexible, so we can build pretty much we want, but the main idea is we solve problems and we use code. The main idea is not write code, the main idea is solving problems with code. But what is code actually? So a code is just a text, is a series of instructions that computer can understand. Code need to follow a series of rules that is different for different programming languages. So there are some main concepts like variables, loops, objects, classes, MVC structure, and many other things. And these things are common for different programming languages, but each programming language has some specifics that we need to learn to write code in this specific programming language. So the way we set variables, for example, or the way we write loops of functions or objects can be slightly different for different programming language, but the idea is all the same. So if you want to start to learn programming, it really doesn't really matter that much which programming language you choose, because once you learn one programming language, it is quite easy to learn another one. But why JavaScript? Why I would recommend JavaScript as the first programming language you will learn? JavaScript is the language of the web, so it's very common, it's everywhere, it's pretty much on every single website you visit. And these days JavaScript is used for front-end and back-end development, which makes JavaScript even more attractive. Back in the days, 10 to even 20 years ago, and even more, at the beginning of the web, JavaScript was only the front-end programming language. And even then, every browser interpreted JavaScript very differently, and JavaScript was very basic programming language that you can use only a very simple thing like simple animations or form validations. These days is a more comprehensive programming language that you can use for websites, web applications, games, mobile apps, smartphone apps, or even desktop apps. So this is pretty much the most popular programming language these days. So even if you learn it now for the web, you will be able to use it in many different scenarios, in many different applications, on desktop, on any other devices. And many companies are looking for JavaScript developers because this language is very common, very fast, and like I said before, can be used for front end and back end, and it is very rapidly evolving. So every year there are updates to this language that enable you to do more and more different things. One thing to remember though is JavaScript is not Java. Java is completely different language. Java can also be used for the web, but Java is much more complicated language and harder to learn and to use, and is mainly used by large corporations. Many companies still use it, and it's still good to learn Java, but JavaScript is more flexible in a browser, used by pretty much every single company, every single website, very attractive on the job market, and it's great language to learn as a first programming language, because all the principles will be the same or very similar in other languages if you want to switch further down the line to another programming language. So that was it. That was really a quick intro to the programming, and programming specifically in JavaScript. If you want to learn more about JavaScript, please like and subscribe, and in future videos very soon I will be describing and giving you some more practical information about how to learn JavaScript and how to use JavaScript. For now, thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye bye.